So hello and welcome to the 41st Annual HCIL Symposium. We're very excited to have everyone here in the room and on Zoom. Today, we are here to celebrate the most recent year's worth of research and other achievements made by the HCIL, which is alive and strong. And if you're not too familiar with the HCIL, we've been around for 41 years at UMD. We have somewhere between, at any time, 40 and 50 faculty and maybe upwards of 100 students who are involved with research in the lab. And today we're going to showcase some of that ongoing research from students and faculty. Before we get into the main event and start hearing from some of those students and faculty, I did want to highlight some of what's been happening in the last year. This is a celebratory day, so I am going to celebrate as much as possible all of the amazing things that you all have been doing. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to welcome 3 new faculty who have joined us in the last year. And notice they come from 3 different colleges on campus. So we have Jing Liu from the College of Education, Stephanie Valencia, who's in the iSchool or Info College, and Jun Nishida, who's in Computer Science. This is one of the things that I love the most about the HCIL, and it's how interdisciplinary we are and how we are spread across the entire campus, because problems of human-computer interaction are things that are not limited to a single discipline. So we're going to hear from some of these folks today, and probably the others next year. Maybe we'll get some of them to do a plenary talk next year. We don't want to scare them too much right when they arrive, but next year I think would be great for some of them to be giving a talk. We also want to celebrate our recent graduates. So this was graduation week at the university, and we had at least 7 PhD and 4 master's students who were doing research in the lab graduate this week. So congratulations to all of them. If you want to check out who has graduated, you can turn to the back of the program or the end of the PDF if you want to download a PDF version of the program, and you can see the list of those students. And we're very excited to see what they do next. Some of them will be presenting today. So I encourage you, if you are someone who graduated, to maybe share with us when you give your presentation about what you are doing. Okay. Next, promotion. So congratulations to Amanda Lazar, who got tenure. We're going to hear from Amanda in just a few minutes. She's giving one of the plenary talks. And as weird as it always feels to talk about yourself, I got promoted to full professor. Again, if you're not super familiar with HCI research, the biggest academic research community is CHI. And CHI is held every year in spring, in April or May. This year it was held in Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and we had 31 students and faculty represented across 15 papers, 2 workshops, and 1 special interest group presentation. And every year we try to get as many attendees who are either current or alumni of the HCIL together to take a picture. Much, much harder than I think it would seem, but I was very excited when I saw this picture because I wasn't able to go. How many people who are current and past members joined us, and they grabbed this picture at the conference center. So it sounds like it was a really exciting event. Just to share you some more pictures from CHI this year. So we have Jason Ding, who posted this on Twitter, this one on the left. He wrote, "As HCI researchers, we've demonstrated advanced human-camera interaction techniques to ensure everyone is included in the group photos." And I cut this part off, and it says "and looks good." Joel Chan, who unfortunately is not in person today, but he is on the webinar, is sporting our HCIL jersey. I don't know if anybody in the room is sporting one. That's a fun tradition that we started more than a decade ago when Jen Golbeck was the director. In the top right, we have an alumni dinner. If you've been around for a while, you might recognize some of those faces. Several of them have graduated in the last 5 to 10 years. And they get together at CHI every year. And then a bottom one, Young Kyung, who is on sabbatical, so she's not here today, but one of her students, Yuan Wang, she snapped this picture presenting at CHI. And then we also had some award winners at CHI. So like most conferences, CHI does best papers and best paper honorable mentions, and 2 papers received honorable mentions. One we're going to be hearing today, that is the lead author's Utkarsh. He's going to be sharing some of this work, exploring AI problem formulation with children versus teachable machines. And then Michelle Mazurek was one of many authors, and she's the UMD representative on another best paper honorable mention. And then there was a new award this year, and Huishu let me know about this when it happened, for a special recognition for sustainable practice. This is something that I think SIGCHI is leaning pretty hard into, thinking about sustainability. And this paper with all 4 authors are UMD and 3 students, and Huishu and Sarlis PCB. We're going to be hearing that one too, but this one, an award for sustainable practice research with potential for sustainable impact. So congratulations to all of those people who won paper awards. I also want to call out, so last year at the Symposium, I mentioned the newly launched Trails Institute, which is for trustworthy AI in law and society, and HCIL faculty Hal Dalme is running that. That is housed at UMD. It is collaborative across several universities. Well, UMD, unsurprisingly, is also leaning hard into AI research and wants to be one of the leaders in the country and the world on AI research. And in April, they had a launch event for the new Artificial Intelligence Interdisciplinary Institute at Maryland, or AIM. And I was very happy to see that the university recognized that HCI researchers are some of the best people to do this. I don't think that was actually part of their calculation, but we have 2 of our members who are in leadership positions. Hal, who never sleeps, is the inaugural director of AIM, and Sheena Arete, who you're also going to hear a plenary talk from today, is the associate director of research. So we're excited to see what comes out of that. So. We have a couple awards every year, and the main one is the HCIL Maryland Way Award for Research Excellence. This was an award started, I believe, in 2020 by Ben Schneiderman and Jenny Priest. And what this does is it recognizes a more advanced PhD student in the lab, 3rd year or beyond, for embracing the Maryland Way. And so what is the Maryland Way? I'm not going to go into all of the details, but this is something Ben started writing about back in the 90s, and kind of the way that we do research and training of scholars, and how you can be successful in a way that is also kind of embracing networking, community, many of these other factors that we hold so dear as part of who we are in the lab. And so they talk about these 7, he talked about these 7 sparks when he initially wrote about this. You can see them on the screen. And then in 2019, our former HCIL director, Nicholas Elmquist, added an 8th one about transferring results to a generalizable audience. And so each year we solicit nominations for students who embody the Maryland Way. And this year we received some really impressive nominations. I was blown away by what some of these students are doing. And so we had a very hard decision to make as to who was the winner. And I want to announce the winner is Jiaxing Li. Yeah. So come on up. I don't know if Jiaxing, as I said, got a very, very lovely letter, and obviously other stuff was submitted too, but the letter was submitted by his primary advisor, Huishu Peng, and Ge Gao, who is his co-advisor. Huishu's in CS, Ge is in the iSchool. And I just have one little snippet here of their letter. Jiaxing is a great example of the Maryland way of research excellence. He selects significant driving problems, works hard with a clear short and long-term goals, and actively explores ways to make his research accessible to a general audience. He's modest, positive, and able to embrace failure and learn from it. They also shared some of his amazing work in writing research with lots of publications in just 3 years at top premier HCI venues and a couple best paper awards. So, Jiaxing, keep up the good work. We look forward to see what comes up from you next. We have a second award that the HCIL does not give, but I want to acknowledge this. So in the iSchool, we have an HCI master's program, and Jenny and Ben also started an award to recognize an HCIM student each year. And so this went to Xiaomin Wu this year. And this is an award that, as you can see, goes to HCIM students who've just demonstrated leadership, high ethical values, and meaningful contributions both inside and outside of the classroom. This award was given earlier in the month, so I don't know, Xiaomin, if you're here. But let's give her a round of applause. Anyway. UMD launched a new award recognition program this year called the Do Good Innovator Awards. And we had 4 members of the HCIL who were recognized among the across all of the university. And so I want to congratulate Beth Bonsignor, Carol Boston, Bill Koulis, and Galina Reitz. So let's congratulate them. Very briefly, I want to read some of the things that were written about each of them. So if you don't know, Beth Bonsignor is the director of Kids Team at UMD, and Kids Team has been around since 1998, so it has also been around for a very long time. It says, she is actively building our computing programs for underrepresented teens. She's a prolific grant writer. In support of these initiatives, is always eager to assist anyone with inclusive design methods. Carol Boston is our community engagement faculty assistant in the iSchool, and she has demonstrated deep commitment to DEI and the power of experiential learning. Bill Koulis, who is a principal lecturer in the iSchool, passionate about engaging students with real-world problems, and he was leading the iConsultancy for several years in UMD. He also loves to dance, and he will dance with Wishu's robots whenever you give him a chance. And then Galina Reitz is a senior lecturer in the iSchool. She is known for creating the Age Tech Hackathon, and she's very interested in developing technology to support older adults. So all of these people doing very amazing work in the community, and I was very glad to see all of them recognized. Okay, so we want to thank all of our sponsors, because sponsors both on campus and funders make what we do possible. And so first I want to call out Vex Robotics. Vex Robotics is here today. You can chat with Jason or Jimmy. You might recognize Jimmy. Jimmy just graduated with his PhD and now is working there. But they're going to be here today. They brought some swag. They're happy to talk about what Vex Robotics does. They're also going to be giving away an award for Best Poster, but more on that in a moment. I want to thank all of our campus sponsors. Various units on campus provide us with both financial support as well as other forms of support. And so these 6 units this year have been very generous in helping us put on today's event. And then research sponsors. So individual faculty are always pursuing funding to support their research. Our faculty get funding from a huge variety of sources, as demonstrated on this slide. I need to thank folks who helped me make today happen. There are many people who were involved, but I especially want to call out Paris Lane, who is our coordinator. Yay, Paris. Rachel Bennett and Sarah Grunn, who are on our events team, so thanks to them. I don't know if either of them are in the room, but they're definitely outside. Craig Taylor, who is currently on parental leave. He's usually our photographer, but he also helps a lot with comms and producing some of the materials. So thank you, Craig. And so what is the overview for today? So if you picked up a program or are looking at the PDF, you already have some sense. In a couple of moments, we will start with our plenary talks. One kind of programming note with that is, unfortunately, Jonathan Lazar is unable to be here in person, but he recorded his talk last night. And so we will be able to play his talk. We just won't be able to have a Q&A with him. And then we will go into our first set of lightning talks. For the lightning talks, the students have prepared 5 to 6 minute talks, and they've been organized into clusters, and then we'll occasionally pause for Q&A from the audience. That's both the people in the room and on the webinar, you're able to ask questions. We then have lunch, and you have a few options for lunch. So I'll get to that in a minute. And then in the afternoon, we have 2 panels, more lightning talks. We have a coffee break, ever important for it to get that caffeine and that sugar to keep you going. And then when we wrap up in the evening at 6, please hang around for our poster session, our reception. We'll have lots of good food, I believe, from us boys and poets. We're going to have at least one demo that you should have heard about already. But yeah, definitely hang around, get some food, chat with folks at the end. So yes, at lunch we have multiple options. You'll be able to go out and get your lunch, and then you can either join a themed table. 5 of our faculty and students have volunteered to lead a discussion on a different topic, and there are sign-up sheets out by the registration desk because they're limited to one table, so they're relatively small. Or you can grab your lunch and then head up to the 4th floor to play some HCI trivia. That will be, Tracy Chen is running that, and you'll have time to get your lunch, head up to the 4th floor. She's not going to start right away. It'll be like 30 minutes of trivia. There will be prizes, some swag for the prizes, so you could do that. And obviously, you can also head outside if it's not raining, or just hang out in the atrium for lunch. Okay, so final reminders before we jump into talks. Please ask questions. Start conversations. Be curious today. We're celebrating, but also this is a great opportunity to learn more about topics that maybe you don't already know a lot about or that you want to learn more about. If you are taking pictures and you're posting them to social media, please tag us. I have reluctantly rejoined Twitter, which I will not call the other name, but you can use HCIL 2024 tag. And these are our Twitter and our Mastodon handles. I switched to Mastodon. Unfortunately, not a lot of people did. But feel free to share those pictures, tag us so we can see what you're doing. One quick note on food. Please refrain from eating in the room to keep AREB folks happy. And then, obviously, if you need a break, there are lots, there's lots of space out there. Feel free at any point. Just if you're going to be heading out in the middle of the talk, be careful with the doors so that they don't slam when you head out. And then also, as a reminder, the plenary talks, the lightning talks, and the panels are all going to be recorded, and they will be posted to our YouTube this summer. We'll send out a notice when that happens. So if for any reason you don't get to see all of the talks or you want to go back and rewatch one, there will be that option once I get around to editing it. Okay? So with that, we are going to get started, and I want to welcome Amanda Lazar, newly associate professor, up to give her plenary talk this morning on how age-bias affects technology design and adoption. So, Amanda, come on up.